Pontiac Fiero GT.
Want to see something really exciting?
Hello everyone, this is Grant Loves Books, and today I'm talking about The Bone People by Keri Hulme, the winner of the 1985 Booker Award. Please, could you subscribe and like the video? I forget to say that every single time. Please like and subscribe. Please, do it. Where were you in 1985? Those old days, right? When you're young, wild, and free and you've got not a care in the world. I wanted to get some styling mousse for my hair for this video, specifically for 1985. I went to the drugstore, couldn't find a single one of those skinny bottles with the mousse, the styling mousse for the hair, medium hold. What has the world come to that you can't get yourself a nice canister of styling mousse? Man, how much of that stuff did you use? I used plenty. 1985, what the hell was happening? What other books were on the list that year? 1985, okay, The Bone People, Keri Hulme, the winner. Peter Carey, Illywhacker. J.L. Carr, The Battle of Pollock's Crossing. Doris Lessing, The Good Terrorists. Jan Morris, Last Letters from Have. And Iris Murdoch, The Good Apprentice, which I've read. Strange year, 1985. What is The Bone People about? Well, why don't we listen to the author describe it in her own words? Keri?
The Bone People is about three people. A man, a woman, a child. The man is Maori with a little addition of Pākehā. The woman is mainly Pākehā, but she's got a Maori input. The child is all Pākehā. They come together, they get to know one another, they break apart in an episode of disastrous violence, and towards the end their paths are knit together again. A very simple story indeed. The book deals with aspects of New Zealand society that are generally swept under the rug. Our lack of communication with one another, the violence that riddles both cultures. But the most important theme, as far as I'm concerned, is the validity and pertinency of taha wairua, Maori wairua, Maori spirituality, and the way we have of looking at people and their relationships and people's relationships with the land, the dead, our ancestors as well. It's, despite the violence and various gruesome bits in it, I find it to be a book of some considerable joy, because people do work out their fates. It does have a kind of a happy ending. It's a recipe, I suppose, for people to be blatant individualists and still love themselves at the end of it. It's got good recipes for Flanders in it too.
Did you catch what she said at the end? I think what she said is, and there's also a recipe for flounder. When I went to Europe and I was learning Hungarian, and I had a teacher, and I was taking these Hungarian classes, the teacher would always say, "Oh, open your mouth. You have to open your mouth to enunciate the Hungarian vowel sounds. Why is it all people who speak English, you always try to speak with your mouth closed?" So when I saw that video there with Keri Hulme, like, she really tries to keep her mouth closed. Wow. What is this book about as far as I'm concerned? Well, there's an artist. She is very reclusive. We don't quite know what her art is. We think she is some kind of a painter. She's on the beach fishing. She finds a sandal with a big hole in it. And so she starts following the footprints which lead to her own house, which is somehow she lives in a tower. Don't ask me, I didn't write it. The boy with the punctured heel is in her house, her tower, and she finds him, and he's a mute. He can't speak, although he can hear. But we discover later that he can make sounds. He just, somehow there's something wrong. He's like a mute, but we discover later that he can actually sing. Don't ask me, I didn't write it. The boy is a terror. He steals, he fights, he gets angry, he throws dishes. But she befriends him. She pulls the thorn out of his paw. And so he trusts her. And then she calls his father, who comes and picks him up, but it's not his real father. It's his foster father, because the boy was discovered washed up on the shore after a shipwreck. And the father is very abusive. Like he's always hitting the boy. But it was 1985, so it was okay to hit your kids then. And the boy also likes to drink, so they give him some beer, even though he's 7 years old. And he likes to smoke, so they give him some cigarettes, even though he's 7 years old. And sometimes the father hits him because he doesn't like the way he's behaving. And it's okay because it was 1985 and he's only 7 years old to hit your kid and to let them smoke and drink beer. And the reclusive artist who doesn't want them to come into her life allows them to come into her life. But she realizes that this father is not just hitting the boy or giving him a smack. Sometimes he actually beats the hell out of him and leaves like all kinds of lacerations and really very vicious abuse on the boy's body. And she thinks she's going to deal with this problem. The artist woman and the man, the foster father, they're Maori people because it's set in New Zealand and they're Maoris. The boy is not a Maori because he's just some foundling from a shipwreck who is mute even though he can hear. And that's the book. Is it good? It's something. It's a book that you need to read more than once. I couldn't believe they were letting this boy drink because they don't know how old he is. Sometimes they say maybe he's 11, maybe he's 12, which is still a little bit early to give wine to. And it's still slightly early to allow them to smoke, I think. Maybe I'm missing something because of the Maori, which is something I truly don't understand. How does it end? I don't even want to talk about that. I really don't want to talk about that because odd things happen. I'm just not sure what to say. Is it a good book? It is a good book. It's not the kind of book I would generally wish to read. Why did I read it? It was on my 2023 TBR list. I'm just sort of tying up the loose ends from last year that I wanted to get this finished. It's a bit of a shame that I didn't finish it last year, but I did finish it. I stuck with it. Even though I didn't enjoy the book too much, it kept going along. And towards the end, I think towards the last 100 pages, it got kind of weird in an interesting way. Would I recommend you read it? I guess I have to say no. I don't think it's a very enjoyable book, and I don't think it's a particularly successful book. It did win the Booker Prize, and I believe Keri Hulme was the first author. I was about to say female author, but I think just the first author from New Zealand to win the Booker Prize, which is to be, congratulations to her. And as well, it should be noted that she was also the first Maori person to win the Booker Prize, which, is exceptional. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, it's not a happy book. It's not a fun book. There's a lot of abuse. And the woman, the artist, she's just too much of a Wonder Woman. She plays the guitar and she can improvise and she can play all this music just from memory on her guitar. And she's a painter and she's a sculptress and she's all of these things. And also she's some sort of an expert fisher. She can fish. She fishes from the beach. She fishes from the boat. She catches all these amazing fish. Not only that, but she's this martial arts master. Like at one point she gets in a fight with the foster father because he's abusive and she kicks his ass. And she says to him afterwards, "Oh, you had no chance. Like the martial arts that I studied, I could easily defeat 6 men all attacking at the same time," which is stupid, really. I mean, that really shows the author's stupidity. Even the best martial artist in the world, most talented, strongest, fastest, would have an incredibly hard time fighting 2 people. Believe me. I studied the martial arts for 15 years, many different forms. And one person, okay, you're one-on-one. But 2 people, they're working together. And you can't. You've got 2 arms. And they've got 4 arms. It doesn't work. Oh, I feel a bit bad doing a book lottery for this one because it's not a book I particularly recommend. Well, I'll tell you what, for whoever wins the book lottery this week, I'll write you an email and we'll try to work something out. Yvonne. I've always had a fondness for that name, Yvonne. Well, Yvonne, what are we going to do here? I'll tell you what. If you would like the Bone People, I'll send it to you. If there's something else that I've talked about in the last couple of years that you would like, let me know and I'll send you that one instead because Like I can't really recommend this one too highly. If you want to get your name in here to be on the book lottery, Yvonne will win this or another book. You know, I like to be flexible if I don't love the book, and also my book here, The Friend from Budapest by Grant Shupway. And I will mail those to you directly. If you would like to be a part of, you know, getting this rare limited edition, only 100 ever printed, ever signed, numbered, dated, and you'd like to get your name in here, $5 per month on Patreon. And for $5 per month on Patreon, you can also get access to my weekly blog where I write all of the dirty secrets that I should probably keep to myself, but as soon as I start typing, all of the dirty secrets begin to come out. $5 per month on Patreon. Please, you're supporting a good cause. I'm just a guy who loves books, and I've got a little community on Patreon, and I think they appreciate all of the extra stuff. I post the videos quite early, so you get to see this video before anyone else. There's not so many names in the jar that eventually you're going to get a copy of this. If you would like to get a copy of this, $12, we'll work it out. Just write to me, $12, okay? My name is Grant. This is Grant Loves Books. Please keep reading. Even if you don't love the book, I mean, I'm still happy I read it. I'm very happy I finished it. I'm glad that I read the 1985 Booker Award winner. It's not my cup of tea, but it has a place. And I think perhaps if someone knew quite a lot more about the subject matter and about Maori existence, it would probably resonate much, much better than it does with me, who, you know, I'm a Canadian guy. New Zealand it's hardly like it's even on the same planet. Thank you for watching. Take care.